Today we're going to be reading about Annie's Pride. You're going to listen to this story, and as always, remember that you can go back and re-listen to me tell the story, or you could pause it and reread the text if you need to find information. I'm going to be practicing intonation today as I read, and remember that's when you actually use varying levels with your voice to make the text sound more interesting. Remember, nobody wants to listen to somebody just read the story with no sound to their voice. It makes it boring. So when you listen, I want you to think about how I change my pitch to talk about Annie's Pride. Annie's Pride. Today, a dry wind howls across the prairie under a blazing sun. Before breakfast, Father and Uncle Pete rode out to the far edge of the farm. It saddens me to watch Father ride off on his old chestnut mare. Back east, he traveled in style in a horse-drawn coach. The coach, and all our possessions, is long gone, sold after fire swept along the wharf and destroyed my father's trading ships. I flap my apron as the chickens call Wade and Charlie from the barn. When they do not answer, I march over. Brothers! When they finish their chores, they always play among the stalls in a loud romp. How different life is now. When we lived in Boston, I wouldn't think of leaving the house without wearing a bright bonnet and a magnificent strand of pearls. I could never have imagined myself on a Kansas farm, tossing handfuls of chicken feed from my pockets of my mud-stained apron. My face was never rough and sunburned from toiling outdoors. My clothes were never covered in dirt. I never strained my muscles with hard work. Sometimes I hardly recognized myself. When Father lost everything, Wade and Charlie were thrilled to move west. Even Father looked forward to farming here next to Uncle Pete. A fresh start, he said. Mother has shouldered the burdens of our new life without complaint, but I believe she feels as I do, that farming is men's work. Approaching the barn, I hear a scream. One of the horses is lunging out of the corner of its stall, where Charlie crouches, his arms shielding his head. "Down, Shadow, down!" shouts Wade. He runs to catch the horse's lead, but now the horse has wheeled, turning to kick its hoofs at him. Suddenly, Wade, too, is down, huddling against the wall. These foolish boys, playing in the barn, where strange, sudden noises can make these wild animals frantic with fear. I cannot be the one to calm this huge, frightened beast, but I close my eyes, picturing horses as I knew them just 1 year ago, trotting regally down the cobblestone streets of Boston, and without thinking, I am bounding across the barn. Checking my stride, I stop, then tell the boys, "No yelling!" Rearing up and whining, Shadow is almost on top of them. I call his name in a soft, singing tone, saying, "Shush, shush." I grab a carrot and stroke Shadow's flank. Soon his eyes stop rolling, and he settles into a rocking motion. Finally, I grab his lead and wave my brothers to safety. When I turn back to Shadow, he takes the carrot. For the first time, I look him in the eye, and he nuzzles me with his big black head. Suddenly, he looks smaller. Or perhaps I've grown, swollen with pride at what I have done, at the idea that I am worth something more than pearls and lace.